Hi everyone, my name is Eleftherios Tentaflidis and I'm a second year PhD student at the University of Edinburgh. Today we're presenting one of our latest work, and that is the consideration and challenges of measuring operator performance in scenarios of telepresence and teleoperation, entailing mixed reality technologies. With the rise of emerging technologies, particularly that of mixed reality, there has been an increase in overall human perception and presence. But at each stage, we need to be able to evaluate user experience to allow us to come up with better concepts and methods to increase human perception and immersion. The problem here is that there's such a diverse use of evaluation methods out there that ultimately inter-study transferability and comparability is very limited. One solution to this problem is to use the same evaluation method across a multitude of different studies, or to use standardization, in which we mean combining two or more evaluation methods under one formulation, such as combining spatial and time-related based metrics, to allow ultimately an increase in transferability and comparability among different studies. The first thing to understand, however, is the difference between telepresence and teleoperation. Telepresence is much more about the appearance, the mimicking of the appearance of a person, whereas teleoperation is much more about controlling the robot. Consequently, telepresence is much more about video conferencing, while teleoperation much more about manipulation. Telepresence is a good example of meeting with people remotely and avoiding social interactions, particularly now with the COVID-19 pandemic, and allowing to be in the same virtual location with different people. However, with teleoperation, we are much more interested in scenarios where hazard is present, or the manipulation of very dangerous materials such as radioactive material or even search and rescue missions. Both categories have the same envisioned goal in maximizing overall human perception, and the person that controls the robot should ideally feel present in the remote location via the appropriate use of stimuli. Consequently, it's very important to be able to assess that, and there's a multitude of different ways to do so, with objective and subjective metrics being the dominant ways of assessing this. But the problem in both methods is that there's such a diverse use of methods and a multitude of different studies that ultimately inter-study transferability is very limited. A possible solution to the objective metric is to use Fitz's law, which is a human predictive model which combines spatial and time-based metrics, whereas at the subjective side, consistency among different questionnaires, such as using the same questions and Likert scales, is very important. Some possible challenges in mixed reality is depth perception, the human-related factors, which is inevitable, and also body ownership, namely embodiment. And for your reference, we analyze here the problems and issues for each one and some potential solutions to mitigate each of these. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you for any questions that you may have. Please ask away. Thank you.